echo of the past. In a small, fog covered village perched on the edge of a dense forest, there lived a young girl named Mira. The village was quiet and isolated, nestled between the towering trees and a river that wound like a silver ribbon through the valley. Mira was a curious child, always asking questions and exploring the world around her, despite her grandmother's constant warnings to stay close to home. Mira lived with her grandmother, Elena, in a small cottage at the edge of the village. Elena was a stern but loving woman, her face lined with the years of raising children and grandchildren. She often told Mira stories about the village's past, stories filled with magic, old gods, and spirits that watched over the land. But one tale was different from the rest: the story of the forest. Elena warned Mira never to venture into the forest alone, for it was said to be a place where the past and present intertwined, where those who entered could lose themselves in echoes of old memories. Despite her grandmother's warnings, Mira was fascinated by the forest. She often wandered to its edge, peering into the shadows between the trees, wondering what secrets lay within. One day, as she played near the forest's edge, she heard a faint melody carried on the wind, a soft, haunting tune that seemed to beckon her closer. Unable to resist, Mira stepped into the forest, following the sound. The trees closed in around her, and the air grew cooler, but the melody remained, guiding her deeper into the woods. She walked for what felt like hours, the light dimming as the canopy above thickened. Just as she began to feel lost, she stumbled upon a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient oak tree, its massive branches stretching high into the sky. Beneath the tree sat a young woman, her back turned to Mira. She was playing a flute, the source of the beautiful melody that had lured Mira into the forest. The woman's hair was long and dark, flowing down her back like a river of night, and her clothes were old-fashioned, like something from one of Elena's stories. "Who are you?" Mira asked, her voice trembling with both fear and wonder. The woman stopped playing and turned to face Mira. Her eyes were a deep, sorrowful blue, and her expression was one of profound sadness. "I am Liana," she said softly. "I have been waiting for someone like you." Mira felt a chill run down her spine. "Why were you waiting for me?" Liana sighed and looked up at the oak tree. "Many years ago, I lived in this village. I was happy, but I made a mistake. I ventured too far into the forest, searching for a way to change my fate. The forest listened, but it trapped me here, in this place where time stands still. I have been alone ever since, playing my flute in hopes that someone would find me and help me escape." Mira's heart ached for the woman. "How can I help you?" "There is a way to break the curse," Liana said, "but it is not easy. You must find the echo of the past, a reflection of the memory that binds me here. It lies hidden in the forest, guarded by the spirits of the woods. If you can find it and bring it to me, I will be free." Mira nodded, determined to help Liana. She turned and left the clearing, venturing deeper into the forest. The trees seemed to shift and move, guiding her path. She encountered strange sights, glimpses of the past, like scenes from a forgotten story. A young couple laughing by the river, children playing beneath the trees, an old man tending to a garden, all images that flickered and faded as quickly as they appeared. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Mira came upon a small pool of water, perfectly still and clear. As she looked into the water, she saw not her own reflection, but that of Liana, as she had been long ago, before the sadness, before the curse. The image shimmered, and Mira knew she had found the echo of the past. Carefully, she reached into the water and cupped her hands around the reflection. As she did, the image seemed to solidify into a small, glowing orb of light. With the echo in hand, Mira hurried back to the clearing. When she arrived, Liana was waiting, her eyes filled with hope. Mira held out the glowing orb, and as Liana touched it, the forest around them began to change. The trees grew brighter, the air warmer, and the shadows retreated. Liana smiled, her sorrow lifting like a veil. "Thank you, Mira," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You have freed me from my prison. I can finally move on." As the last light of the echo faded, Liana's form began to dissolve into the air, her spirit finally released. "Remember," she whispered as she disappeared, "the past shapes us, but it does not define us. Live your life freely, and do not let the shadows of the past hold you back." Mira watched as Liana vanished, leaving her alone in the clearing. The forest, now bright and welcoming, seemed to hum with life. She knew she had done something important, something that would change the village's story forever. When Mira returned to the village, she found her grandmother waiting by the door. Elena embraced her tightly, her eyes filled with both relief and understanding. "You went into the forest?" she said, her voice soft. "I knew you would, one day." Mira nodded. "I had to help someone, but I'm back now." Elena smiled, her expression proud. "You've done well, my dear. The forest holds many secrets, but it seems you've uncovered one of its oldest. Remember what you've learned, and you will always find your way." From that day on, Mira no longer feared the forest. She continued to explore, but with a newfound respect for the echoes of the past that lingered among the trees. And whenever she heard the wind whisper through the branches, she thought of Liana, knowing that the past, while powerful, could be transformed by those brave enough to face it.